Alright, what up folks, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Realism Overhaul Episode 3, let's do it! Okay, so out of the blue into the green, our Kerbal yet again is stagnating to get more science and some mods to fix up the science issue. Now, to give you a recap on what I have done, I was going to collect science the old school way, so I built an airplane which did not fly very well, but it was capable of getting us science. So this is Fly 1. It's basically piston engine, 1, 2, 3, cannot steer, have a load of science instruments, so let's take it for a ride, shall we? Alright, so welcome to the runway guys. We literally have no control over this airplane, so what I'm gonna do is set this to reverse thrust and this to forward thrust. By the way, I was able to take off, land it in the ocean, and that did work out well-ish. Anyhow, let's check if we do have any science on the runway. Do we? Yeah, we actually do. So turn off the engine, turn on the brake, and collect all the science. Okay, so after a second thought, I figured out instead of opening this to have a new science instrument, with the science we got, we could open the aviation, and that would give us new engine, which is useless, mostly, except for the supercharger junkies. We actually got a lot of supercharger engine, and I'm researching it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this, especially the wheel, we're gonna build an airplane that is steerable, this time at least, so we can roam around the runway and the Kerbal Space Center and collect the science. So let's get building. So this is pretty much the evolution of the fly into a flyer. And as a wise man once said, build it small, build it smart. And this is the best idea. Jeb, do not crash. So we have a lift off in around 3, 2, 1 now. Okay, so we're reaching a speed of 80 meters per second. The plane started shaking left and right, and it actually took off. As you can see on your left side, we do have some science instruments, so let's collect them before the whole airplane starts crashing down. Turn off the engine and try to land in one piece mostly. Okay, so we're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday. We crashed. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I forgot to hit the record button. Basically, I give up of trying to fly the flyer, which was the evolution of the fly, and decided to just jump aside the road and collect some science. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna do for the next half an hour, collecting as much science as we can. Okay, so our next stop is the administration building, collecting yet again all the delicious science that we can get. Okay, so apparently the next stop is the spaceplane hangar. We don't have much of science, but some of the leftover that we can collect. And now we are on a crossroad of delivering the science that we have or collecting more science. And by that I mean, let's collect more science. Okay folks, so apparently and obviously after the last catastrophic, not so flyer after all, I've decided to build an airplane that's not gonna fly, but rather yet it's gonna get us some more science. So this is flyer not so, with Captain Jebediah on board, which is a nightmare, but this thing is capable of cruising around barely the Kerbal Space Center and gather all the science that we need. So let's get more science. Okay folks, welcome to the VAB. Next stop, the crawler. Alright folks, so with the enough science that we did collect, I'm thinking it's time to go crazy. So we are opening up new boosters, which gonna give us a lot of thrust, and the advanced rocketry, which gonna give us more or less engines that does work in space. Especially these, I love those. They have very nice vectoring range. So what I'm planning to do is Oh, we got also the J2 series. Wow. Alright, so what I'm planning to do is, since we are really in the need of science, there is various of solution, but one of which is using the same concept as early tech and send the probe all the way to deep orbit. So, time to get building. Okay, so after the quest of hunting more science, we need launch clamps because we want to launch a bigger rocket. Now, to give you a heads up, between episode I got a lot of mod updates and I have reinstalled and deleted some of the mods. So I deleted the STX stock extension because, well, there's a lot of parts, more than I can handle. So I'm gonna try the parts as stock as possible for the sake of simplicity. Now, what I'm planning to do is to launch this one first into higher atmosphere, secondly maybe into space, and honestly it has like 8000 delta V, but it's not ready for re-entry yet. Now this is a launch flight, let's get it rolling. Okay, there we are on the launch pad. Remember, this is a rather simple launch. We're gonna ramp up the main boosters, main booster ignition, and releasing the clamps, and we have a lift off. This rocket is awesome. It's producing almost 1700 kiloton of thrust, kilonewton, and this is amazing. So I'm not gonna use all the stages, obviously, maybe the first stage only, and our goal just to go to the upper atmosphere. We are hitting supersonic velocity. The rocket's a little bit shaky. Everything seems so stable. Jebediah Kerman is relaxing. Now obviously this might end up badly in any case. I've set the impulse for those decoupler on the maximum. I want to try the different effect that it does have. So I'm using procedural parts to make a structural cone so it can fit as an adapter as short as possible and have an aerodynamic shape. Because again, we're using ferrum and it has a tendency of vortex effect. I hate it. So first stage is almost done. The rocket had drained all its fuel and the sound of silence. Okay, so decoupling the first stage, and actually I'm not gonna launch the third stage because we have more than enough velocity to reach our goal. Remember, we're just there for the science. So as you can see, wow, we got it. Okay, so collecting the data. What do you have for me? Oh, this is not draggable. Alright, we started to fall, so I'm going to decouple the main rocket. And on the way down, we have some drag chute just in case. Looks like it's a water landing. Now remember, we don't have any reaction control on this beast for obvious purposes. It just doesn't work. So we're pretty much free falling. Let's skip forward and see how will it work. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, so as you can see, we are at 4000 meter, falling rather slowly. This could work as a return vehicle from orbit. The only thing that it needs something to protect those instruments from burning up rather quickly. Now the main capsule is already having a bladder, but the rest doesn't. And of course we can just remove the chute and put a heat shield on the top. Or can we, Jeb? Let's get to the drawing board. Okay, so with the extra science we got, I'm opening the electrics. So we will have a new science instrument, which is the RPWS antenna and few solar panel. And what I'm thinking of is, let's build a probe. Send him on a one-way ticket to high Kerbin orbit, or better yet, to the sun. Right, there it is. So this is literally an upgraded version or slash fixed version of the older header, where I forgot to put an antenna. Blink light, blink light. So I've added some solar panel, added a new science instrument, and a battery. So this is gonna be flown by MacJib, which I love. And of course, for the sake of it, the gods of more booster. Those things are able to put up to, well, let's just say hell load of thrust. So we are going to be having 2.4 G acceleration and as much control as possible. Let's get it rolling. Alright, there we are on the launch pad, and I accidentally forgot to get Jib out of the ship, so we're trying to get him to land alive. Well, he's fine and he collected some signs for us. So let's switch back to the main ship, ramping up the main engine. And that was loud. Alright, launch. So we're basically going straight up. Setting MakeJib to 90 degree. And let's get it rolling. Now that is what I call a proper rocket. So we got around 11,000 delta V. And I'm guessing we might, in fact, reach the deep space. Now, if we did... Oh, hello there, unknown object. Unknown object. Okay, well, I'm gonna get back to you later. Meanwhile, with our rocket, we are accelerating at 3 Gs. Holy shit. Okay, that's a lot. That was not expected. We are going at almost 4 Gs now. And we're breaking the atmospheric effect. How fast are we going, Ferrum? We're having Mach 3 at this altitude. That's a lot. So the rocket's a little bit shaky left and right, but we are under control. Now I want to finish the solid rocket booster before we go to space, because those are not pressurized, while on the other end this is pressurized. I'm gonna activate the other engine now. So we're having a peak of 8 Gs. Okay, the boosters are out and we got 2 Gs of acceleration. Now let's time fast forward. I'm gonna keep this active so we can track which science we have, or what science instrument do we have. In terms of power, we are doing alright. We're halfway down the power. So we are in space and we got where are you? I lost my experiment. There it is. So log the data, transmit the data, and of course we can't transmit anything else because, well, it's not reusable. So we finished the first stage, second stage, sorry, third stage is active. And Captain Jebediah is at the launch pad. So we're reaching 1 million meter. That's good. Our goal is MakeJib, what are you doing? MakeJib, don't screw things up, eh? Okay, so obviously MakeJib doesn't work even in space, and we are almost out of fuel. Last stage activated. Ramp up the engine. Full throttle. And the propulsion is very stable. Now, ironically, this engine doesn't restart. So if we did run out of fuel, and we would run out of fuel very fast, we're not gonna have anything to say. Return us back. But we got 3000 delta V. That's a total of 8,000. I hope I would reach the deep orbit. Alright, so we ran out of fuel and we peaked out 6 million, 0.5 meter. Now, as far as I'm aware, that's not deep orbit, but let's have a look. Okay, so we reached, and yep. Mission failed, back to the drawing board. Or, I've just had an idea. Let's actually land this thing, shall we? Alright, coming in hot at the speed of 8,000 meter. And all hell broke loose. Oopsie, my bad. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so here's an upgraded version of the same rocket. I've made this fuel tank a little bit longer, and I've added a little bit more thrust for the takeoff. So we got another 8 engine. They would ramp up exactly once we start launching. Let's roll. Okay, take 3, and I forgot to get Jebediah Kerman out again. So let's bring him down, hopefully in one piece this time. And yep, the Kraken does attack and kill Jebediah. It's okay. We're launching. 3, 2, 1. Ramp up the main engine. Take off. We have a rather strong takeoff now. Those engines ramp up rather instantly, and they got a very good thrust weight ratio as well. They're a little bit long, but they do the job. So, what's our Delta V status? 10,000. Nope, it's not gonna be enough. Back to the drawing board. Okay, so once a wise man once said, the bigger the better. I have totally doubled the size of these, so now they are 2 meter in diameter, 15 meter long, and I'm actually thinking of even make them bigger. Issue is, we already have acceleration of 3 Gs at standoff level. Once they run out of fuel, we're gonna get around 10 Gs. But that's alright, let's roll it. Okay, once again, the rocket is shaky, and I forgot to bring Jebediah out of this, so let's bring him down without crushing. Yup, Jebediah Kerman, get us a surface sample. And actually, you might want to run. Yeah, like, you know, right here will be great. Hooah! Okay, so main engine, ignition, secondary engine, activate, and we have a lift off at 3G and accelerating. Holy shit. Okay, so we got around 11,000 mega ms per second. Our boosters are rolling. They got burn time of 40 seconds. The main booster, well, they don't have a really good specific impulse, but it's okay. So they are almost at full capacity. We are having 10,500 kilonewton of thrust. That's more than enough to burn our rocket on the way up. So as you can see, it's overheating. But the brave MakeJ Pro doesn't care, you know, robots. So acceleration is 9 Gs. 10 Gs. Holy shit. 12. Alright, and cut off. Whew. That was crazy. So we're still accelerating though. We still have 8,000 meters per second. And I'm gonna skip forward. Let's see, do we have here any science? Okay, take 4. To give you a heads up, it didn't work before. So, this is the Kraken. No! Launch! Okay, that didn't go well. Back again. 5 hours later, and after a lot of fine tweaking, adding more thrust and even more booster, I present to you Untitled Aircraft. Well, I didn't name it yet, so let's launch. Shit, that is loud. That's so fucking loud. Okay, so we have achieved the liftoff. Now, in the first stage, we do have a lot of thrust weight ratio, approximately 2.4, and increasing probably up to 10 or 14 Gs once these boosters start running dry. Now, in the next stage, we're gonna accelerate slowly, coasting through the atmosphere, and well, let's see how far will this one go. I'm gonna save it to you guys, and I'm gonna cut this part out up to the end. Okay, so the staging was not done correctly. Well, it was done correctly, but this stages was very heavy. It flipped the rocket upside down. Luckily, this Solid rocket booster does have a good gimbal and it's able to control our rocket, otherwise we would be spinning out of control. So we have reached space, which, well, in a way it's our goal. In other way, come on, why are you falling? It's so hard to control the rocket. Something... Oh right, the weight distribution is not right because... Yeah, those boosters. Okay, so I'm gonna give McJib controllability and skip forward. Okay, so we've just run out of fuel and we are up to 13 million meters. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest, whether this would get us to deep orbit or not, but let's check it. Nope, we are not into deep orbit, not yet. Okay, well, we got some science thingy here. Let's transmit it. So I guess this flight was not a waste after all. But I'm afraid I'm all out of time for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, don't forget to slap a like on it. Until next time, stay tuned.